futuristico.
Ok, rap futuristico. Rap futuristico.
I think the chances are going to be a bit hard to call, as we know that the history in the Euro tournament hasn't been that great, and I do think that the squad they've got is probably a weaker squad than what they've had in recent international competitions. They've still got the likes of Buffon, which is his value to the team is never ending. He can sort of keep you a clean sheet, which is obviously going to guarantee you a point at least. But I do think in strength and depth, there's some lacks that we've got in the squad. It'll be interesting to see what players feature heavily and what players are there just to sit on the sidelines. I don't think there'll be too many changes regardless of how results go. But as we know, Italy do improve as the tournament goes on, and how they've started for the preparation hasn't been good. Also, the omens look good as well. I mean, we all know what happened 6 years ago when Italy won the World Cup with the scandals that were happening before the event, so hopefully that can be a good omen. Sweden, without a doubt. I think they're definitely getting overlooked. When you look at their run-in that they've had previous to the tournament, the last defeat was to England, and I did remember watching that game, and I don't think it was the best of games at all. But they've had a very impressive away win against Croatia, and a recent win over Iceland. But I think one of the keys to what Sweden have got is Ibrahimovic. He's probably, without doubt, been his best season in a long time. His confidence is very high after the goals he scored for AC Milan this season. We know he doesn't particularly perform on the international stage so much, especially what people say in big name games, which I don't particularly believe. But it would be an interesting point if he can sort of take his confidence and form from what league success he's had and take it into the Euros. He could carry his side on his own. But when you look at the squad they've got as well, Olsen's going to be pretty impressive, bearing in mind that Blackburn have gone down. He's sort of put himself in the shop window there, and I think there's going to be a couple of players that have got the point to prove and the confidence. Also, the group they're in, it's not an easy group, but it's a hard one to pick from the group they've got for definite. It's not so much of a lookout as in for talent-wise. It's just going to be what he's going to do. It's got to be Mario Balotelli. We all know that he can be one of the best players in the world, one minute, but if he doesn't want to know and he's not interested, it's a waste of time of being there. And it'd be interesting to see how he plays off players and who he partners with and how he plays as part of a team. And does he want to be there? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna shine? Is he gonna sort of put his name out there and say, you know, I am Mario Balotelli, like he likes to do so often, or is he going to shy away? Without going into it too much as well, he's made a lot of hype about the racism situation out there, which I think could spur him on. If it does, it could be an interesting tournament for him. I can't really split between Holland or Germany. I would possibly say Holland, just because of the squad they've got. It's probably a little bit fresher than what the Germans are. Both teams are very similar in their playing style, but I do think Holland will probably edge it. It's interesting that they're both in the same group, so that could make a major play in what really happens to them.
C'è una festa, siamo in 100.